The common question I get quite a bit, how do I get a girl to chase me? How do I get her to come after me and say that she likes me first? How do I get her making the first moves? The answer to this is actually decently complex and something I've been working at for a long time. It's actually one of my biggest sticking points, along with speaking fast. There's quite a few things that I'm working on personally in my own game. And this one right here is one of the number one things that I'm working on currently. And I call it the vacuum of qualification. So the vacuum of qualification is an idea that I came up with a year and a half ago when I was trying to figure this out for myself and trying to figure out what is it that some guys distill in themselves that make them attracted to women and that get them chasing them. And that I've seen in my friends that have this almost CEO mentality, this I'm in charge, I'm the boss mentality. And this, if you want to give off boss-like power mentality, power energy, something that screams status, this is the perfect way to do it. If you're somebody that feels like you are low value with your friends, low value with the women you talk to, feel low value at your work, if you do this specifically, that will never happen again. So what is vacuum of qualification? So first we have to knock out what is qualification. Anything qualifying is actually not as straightforward as it sounds. So qualifying, you guys might know, means qualifications. What are qualifications? Qualifications are something that that you use to get a job. These are specific things that I am qualified to do the job you want me to do. So what you do is you tell people, hey, this is how I'm qualified in this area, this arena. This is how I qualify myself to you. So you qualify. You tell people how you're qualified. You tell people how much money you make. You tell people that you work a certain job. You tell people that you slept with a certain amount of girls. You tell people that I might actually qualify to you guys by posting up testimonials of boot camps and consultations. I also will qualify in the ways that I smile or laugh. So there's actually this type of qualification in the way that you smile. If you smile in an apologetic way or you apologize, it's actually a form of qualification because you're trying to change somebody's perception of who you are actively in a way that makes you more neutered, in a way that makes you look less intimidating or less scary. So what you're doing is you're trying to build comfort by making yourself smaller. So a lot of people, whenever they're trying to qualify, they're either one, trying to build this elaborate image of who you are, or two, it's like you're trying to make yourself smaller so you don't intimidate those around you. And either or, both these qualification ways turn women off so much. I don't know if you've ever been the guy who tried to win a girl over with money by trying to show her your Rolex or whatever the hell you got, and it never worked, did it? Telling her how much money you make never works. Telling her you drive some kind of car doesn't work. Telling her you work a certain job, have a certain amount of followers, it doesn't work. And why doesn't it work? Because in the act of qualifying and trying to prove to her that you're a certain type of individual, you prove to her that you're actually the opposite, that you're a low status individual. Now, the numbers of ways that people qualify and self-qualify to others is very broad and very wide, and it actually goes through a bunch of different things. So I'll go through a couple points here, just so you guys can start noticing these. In ways of mannerism, like I said, smiling. Smiling too big is qualifying. Laughing at people's jokes when you don't find them funny. Laughing at your own jokes when you're not actually self-amused and instead you're laughing to try to get others to laugh. Not a very good look. If you're somebody that is apologizing unnecessarily, using extra words, you are doing things because you don't want to offend others, adding white lies to conversations to make yourself sound bigger than you are. Maybe not holding eye contact with somebody. These are all little ways that you're qualifying to others, either to make yourself look bigger than you are or look smaller than you are in order to make other people around you feel more comfortable or to value you. Either way, by doing this, you start qualifying and you start just onto the person. It tells the other person subconsciously that you care more about the interaction than they do. Now, if you can learn to get rid of all of these, to turn down that dial of qualification, you start having what I call vacuum of qualification. Now, why do I call it a vacuum? It's because you're empty of any form of qualification. Now, do you know what this means? This means that by happenstance of you turning all these things down on the external, people will naturally start qualifying to you. Because you're not giving them anything, because you don't give them any sign that you necessarily like them or don't like them. So you talk to a girl, you don't give her any sign that you're very sparse with the qualification. Anytime you actually give her a compliment, it's genuine. Anytime you make a compliment, it's genuine. Anytime you make a comment about somebody, it's genuine. You're willing to also offend her When you talk to her, you're willing to like tell her when she does some stupid shit. Now by doing this, guess what? By happenstance, you care less. By doing this stuff on the outside, by doing pretty much none of the things I'm talking about, you do less than she does. She's gonna do a pinch more than you will. And what does this mean? This means that she's gonna little by little start getting drawn in like a vacuum, and she's gonna get drawn in to start qualifying more and more and more. She's gonna start seeking your validation. This is why it's called vacuum of qualification. This takes a long time to work on, and it actually takes a lot of effort, and it also takes certain mindsets in place. So I'm gonna get into those right now. So the first way that I actually worked to get rid of these was that I put up on my wall, and I wrote down all the ways that I qualify specifically. So I apologize too much, I use too many words. I smile too big. I would nod when people were doing conversation. So if somebody was like in a conversation and they were talking, I would nod to let them know that I was keeping up. But I realized that that was a form of qualifying in a way. It's like I'm communicating to you, yes, I'm listening, but it's not, I'm doing that because I want them to know, I want them to feel comfortable, so make myself smaller so they feel more comfortable. So it's a form of qualifying in a way. So I'm turning all these things down. I make very focused and I understand all the ways that I qualify. And now that I do this, now I can like focus is the water that wears the stone. By recognizing every time I do it, it slowly starts fading away. The habit starts slowly fading as I recognize when they come up. So in the same way, this will help you guys out. Now, the mindsets that help me get rid of these, first one, narrative. Inherently, you are going to have the world around you that you want. The friends that you have currently, if they leave, or if they leave because you're doing this, because you're trying this stupid qualification thing that this YouTuber guy says on the tube, and you want to take his advice because you think he's pretty intelligent and he hasn't steered you wrong yet, maybe some of your friends are not going to feel comfortable with it. Mine didn't when I was younger, and I lost a lot of my friends when I was younger because I kept leveling up and they weren't feeling comfortable with it. And that's just a happenstance of leveling up. Sometimes people don't like it. And then I got higher quality friends. In the same way, like if you risk losing your friends, you have to understand that new friends are going to come around. More than likely, even higher quality friends, because you're allowing yourself to risk losing them to level up. And the friends that stick around, those guys are usually going to be the ones that are also leveling up themselves and be like high-fiving you, applauding you, the fact that you're actually evolving in a positive way. Now, the same thing with women, the same thing with money, all these things. So now you can risk all this stuff. So now, do you have the need to qualify to others? Why is there a reason to? Like, they're going to love you regardless. You're going to have the friends there regardless. You're going to have the money there regardless. So what does it matter? So risk offending people to become a higher quality version of yourself that will be better for them in the long term as well as it will be for yourself. All right, so lack qualification. Oh, that's another thing actually. Lacking pauses and allowing pauses to happen. Not feeling a need to fill the spaces at all times. Sometimes just be okay with silences. You don't need to constantly give value to people for them to like you. That's a big one for me too, which is also why I have such a mouthpiece on me nowadays, but is also why I am such a big, what's the word? Loudmouth. My verbal skills are so good because I always felt like I had to say some clever line to get a girl into me. But it's funny, by feeling that way on the inside, it made me act in little ways and mannerisms in a way that was qualifying and supplicating in little ways. So what am I doing? I'm toning it back. I'm doing the pendulum swing. I talk too much. Guess what? Slamming it back. Now I'm the CEO power type. That's how you guys make little evolutions every day to improve yourself. That's how I'm currently doing it. I'm not like some guy that's reached the peak. I'm currently working on myself, trying to make my own game better, so that you guys see me a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the line. You're like, man, that guy got good every goddamn month. Every month by month, he got better little by little. So that's what I want you guys to do the same way. All right, pendulum swings. Are you somebody that supplicates and qualifies too much? Then guess what? Now it's time to stop qualifying. It's time to actually take this advice in this video like I am. All right. Next thing, winning and losing. So this is a byproduct of just going out quite a bit. So I'm gonna actually merge the last 2 points together. Winning and losing. So you go out a lot to go approach women, and over a period of time, guess what? You're gonna win, you're gonna lose, you're gonna win, you're gonna lose, you're gonna win a lot, then you're gonna lose a lot, then you're gonna win, lose, and at the end of it, you're like, man, I developed a thick skin, and I also know that my narrative is always gonna have my back. I'm always gonna have hot girls, I'm always gonna have this, I'm always gonna have that, because you've won multiple times over. You've been that millionaire that made the millions, lost the millions, earned the millions, lost the millions, as opposed to the billionaire that made the money once, loses it all, and then just commits suicide. Instead, you're that guy that developed the resilience behind this. You know you're gonna get it back. So guess what? You don't care about the girl you talk to. You don't care about this person. I mean, you care about the person you're talking to, but if they leave because of the person that you are inherently, It might hurt a little bit, but like you get that they're gonna come back in one form or another. You're chill. All right, you're never gonna compromise the person that you are, because for to become something smaller in retrospect, make yourself smaller so that people can feel comfortable, because that's not you. All right, that being said, peace.
Yo, bitch, I got some buzzers clawing at my fucking stomach. I'm from the shadows, let the gallows make